beautiful. My name is Destiny Porter, also known as the Empress C, and I am doing this live today on behalf of the Purposely Awakened magazine. I hope that you all are feeling good today. You know, I'm always sending love and positivity out to you all. Today, we will be joined by Chanel Ray, the Culture Princess. I'm so excited to talk to her about her business that she has co-founded, Legion Media Group, and also about her podcast. So we'll be talking to her about how she got involved in public relations and things like that, and you know, some of her first real business opportunities and how she got out to the public. So you guys, please stay tuned because it's going to be a really great interview. I cannot wait. How are you all doing today? You always look so beautiful in the comments and all through the feed. I hope that everybody is doing great because I'm feeling pretty good. Aside from this pudge, jeez, you know what I'm saying? Quarantine is. I can't tell if I don't know how is quarantine doing you all's body because it's ruining mine at this point. I actually see Chanel now, so we are going to join her. Hold on. Hello,
Hi,
beautiful. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much. My name is Destiny Porter, and I will be doing this live on behalf of the Purposely Awakened magazine. How are you feeling today?
I am good, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Of
It's been an
course,
honor.
you look so beautiful.
Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Tried to
Well,
look like a person for you today.
I hear you. I definitely feel it. So, can you tell myself and our guests what it is that you do?
Well, I am the co-founder of the Legion Media Group, which is an independent PR, marketing, and event planning company. And what do we do? It depends on the client, but we set up strategic campaigns, whether it be branding initiatives or public relations initiatives or event planning. And I know it's, not much to do in person right now as far as events, but it's about reimagining what your brand looks like, and we don't make the news, we publicize the news. So that's kind of what I like to say.
So, what were some of like your first opportunities really utilizing your public relations and branding skills?
I want to say our first our first event. We put together we put together a fashion show for the NAACP Centennial event, which was over 10 years ago now. But it was the first time that we put together, not only produced the event, but put together a PR strategy, finding what talent was going to walk the carpet, kind of putting out what designers and how to, get not only pre awareness of the event, but after, and yeah, so that was our first time, and one client led to another and led to another, and here we are.
That is awesome. So, was that like a little bit of an intimidating experience at all?
um, yes and no. We weren't a formal PR company then. So it was kind of like we did it for fun and a check. Let's keep it on it, right? So there's that. We did it to kind of test the waters, and and we had so much fun with it that they're like, oh, we don't know if we're gonna do this, but it wouldn't hurt to try. And then that it was actually the summer of 2008, and that fall was when we had the stock market crash. So I got laid off from Ad Age at the time, and I said to my partner, shout out to Ian Freeman, and said to Ian, I said, you know what, maybe we need to take this PR thing seriously. So what we did is, like anything, I didn't go to school for PR, and neither did Ian. I have a media background before all this, and we said, okay, before anything, we have to know your craft, right? That's the rule. You can't really do anything before you know your craft. So we brought in a third partner, shout out to Sasha Thompson. She was actually doing PR for the Brooklyn Museum at the time. And Sasha came in and legitimized what we had going on. Had already started to pick up like, side clients. And we said, you know what, let's get someone to kind of give us some structure and organization. And Sasha came in and kind of cleaned us up. And then we took off from there.
Oh my God, that sounds so
Mm-hmm.
amazing. So
Yeah.
do you think at some point, like in your life, you were prepped for the intensity of the industry prior to you coming into it?
Um, yes and no. I made sure that while I was in school, I definitely interned at everything that I could, whether it be, I knew I wanted to do something in the entertainment world. I thought it was more so journalism, but at the same time, I knew I needed to fit somewhere. So I took advantage of every opportunity. I interned from ABC at One Life to Live to Def Jam and the marketing department to radio with Wendy Williams, and a magazine, InStyle, at Time Inc. at the time. So I wanted a well-rounded experience and to figure out where I fit. And so I knew I would be part of this world somehow. It's just in what capacity I was not sure. So
That is very
yeah,
great.
shout out to Matricia. I see Matricia in here. Trisha definitely helped me gain a lot of those internships. I worked for Matricia while I was at Pace, and she helped me, with everything from getting my resume together to cover letters and thank you letters. And that's what you need. You need someone to be that support system for you, and to, I always say, like, I tell all my interns that even if I don't become your mentor, find one. Like,
Yeah.
we didn't do this alone, and you shouldn't either. So find a mentor. Oh no. Oh wait, I can't hearing you?
Can you hear me?
Now I can. Now I can.
Okay. Okay. Good. Yeah, I appreciate all of that advice, because I can take that in. So I definitely appreciate that. So what are some characteristics that you feel are absolutely necessary for somebody who's going into public relations or something similar?
Definitely. I'm not saying you have to be a people person. You just have to know what your strengths are. At Legion, we have a team of people. I always say, like, people know me, but they don't necessarily know my team. That's because they choose to be more behind the scenes. Not everyone has to be out in the public, and you don't have to be popping on the gram. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the misconception these days, that everybody has to be a celebrity publicist, and that's so far from the truth. Like, on our team, we have Erin, Taria, and Kristen, and of course Ian, my co-founder and partner. But I give you an example. Kristen is definitely not a people person. She's more reserved. She's more of an introvert. But Kristen is great at research. Kristen is great at writing. Kristen is amazing at whatever task you definitely give her. She can tackle, but she's not the typical outgoing type of personality. But I believe she's a great publicist. So it's taking whatever steps whatever your personal strengths are, and utilizing that, whether it's, one person creates the strategy, or like I said, there's one person out here doing these IG lives, like, like me, but not everyone wants to do that. So I believe as a leader, it's my job to recognize everyone's strength and put them where they can shine the most.
Yeah, absolutely. That delegation is very, very important.
For
Um,
sure.
so with having clients that range in so many different areas from, media to fashion and music and entertainment, I'm sure it can be quite stressful at times. So what would you say is like the most enjoyable aspect of your job?
Um, when I actually get to see a campaign flushed out from start to finish, and, like, from ideas to fruition, and actually seeing the results. Like, people see the end product, right? But they're not ever part of the process, and they think that, it's all flashing lights. No, you get to see flashing lights after the work is done. Like,
Right.
at the end of the day, it took, a hard hard sweat, blood, and tears to, before all that. And so when it's all said and done, and, whatever the campaign media hits get, and it finally gets published, and you're like, all right, it's kind of showing off. And then that's, I guess, that's when I'm kind of like, all right, well, it wasn't for no reason. So.
Right. Absolutely. You like that fulfillment aspect of everything.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel it. So I know that you did a recent interview where you said that, you like to stay true to your values and things like that, even if it means taking longer to get to the top. Have
Most
you
definitely.
ever felt like contemplating maybe compromising that mindset if things got a little bit harder than you expected?
Yeah, I mean, I think you all get there. You might, not that I would sell my soul to the devil or for a check, but we all, well, I'm a mom, so I have a mouth to feed. So it's always like, thinking like, am I really saying no to this check right now? Like, it's during COVID, and, budgets are limited across the board, and I'm over here turning down money. Like, you know what I mean? So it's one of these things, but at the core of me, I know what I want to stand next to and what I don't. So it's more so working with people that I believe in. Like, shout out to Iman in the comments right now. Like, I don't work with a lot of emerging artists, but I fuck with Iman. Like, he's so genuine and humble and talented, and I'm just, proud to be part of someone's journey. And yeah, I think that there's always times where, you contemplate like, damn, I really, need this money, or I might get a better look if I do such and such, or if I do this. But you got to sleep with yourself at night. So, just make sure that it's something that you won't regret tomorrow. I always say, I don't jeopardize tomorrow's check for today's check.
I like that a lot. I appreciate that because I know that, especially, I feel like, in this generation, in this culture,
Mm-hmm.
it's a little bit different now, the
A lot
standards,
different.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like you said, when things get tough or hard, it's easy to kind of venture down that thin line. You know what I'm saying? So I definitely hear where you're coming from.
Yep.
So I know that you are also the co-host of a podcast,
Yeah.
a mommy cast, and it's
Mommy
geared. Say it again. I'm sorry.
It's called A Mommy Cast. A
Yeah.
Mommy Cast is about my personal journey with my best friend. Shout out to Toya. Toya and I, I know that right now we're all talking about, there's a climate, right, of talking about privilege and so on. And I think there's levels to that. And Toya and I both recognize that we do have a form of privilege, not, um, being educated women. We both come from two-parent homes. We both, grew up on Long Island, upper middle class families. That's a privilege, and we do recognize that. And becoming moms, and even trying to become moms, we realize that, like, if we had so much support and so much, like, access, and we still had struggles and so much, like, adversity of trying to become moms, and even that, like, both of us had issues with conceiving, and then even after we had our kids, I had trouble breastfeeding, and it was just so many, like, different struggles along the way that we had a hard time with. And it was, we went through things that society says that we can't talk about. And I'm just like, well, why? And so now we created this podcast to not only say, you know what, no, we are going to talk about it. There is issues that we go through as parents, not even just moms, but, like, we need to tell people, like, yo, you're not going through this alone. And if we had so much struggles, again, with our privilege, then we always talk about, well, what about the people that don't have the support that we have? Like, so that was that was the reason to start the podcast. So right now I don't want to say in a hiatus, but we kind of took a break because Toya just actually had a second baby, and my little godson Idris, shout out to Idris, baby Idris. Yeah, so right now she's kind of figuring out, and that's when we do catch up. We've done a bunch of these IG live catch ups too, and just again, it's real. The struggle is real, like figuring out how to be alone with a toddler, a newborn, and work at the same damn time. Like shout out to her. Like Chase, my son Chase, he's about to be 5, and he's pretty self-sufficient. I do his school routine in his school routine in the mornings, and then he's kind of like leaving me alone for the rest of the day. But you know, that's not the case when you have a newborn and then still trying to do work. So
yeah, I'm sure it can be extremely difficult, especially with having such a demanding career
yeah,
like you and having a child. So do you
most
feel
definitely.
like that support system, well, first let me ask, were you guys friends prior to going through all of these struggles together?
Yes, most definitely. Toya and I have been friends for almost 20 years. I'm like dating ourselves
Wow.
right now. I always say she bagged me from across the room. We were at we were at college orientation, and I see her across the room, and she's like, "Come sit here, come sit here." I'm like, "Yeah, I know."
Oh,
and
that's
we've been
beautiful.
friends ever since. So yeah.
I love it. That is
And
amazing.
we literally you know, our other best friend, shout out to Tippy, and they literally FaceTime me as I was peeing on the stick.
Oh,
and
oh,
and I'm like, yes, and then legit 2 months later then she got pregnant, and our due dates
wow.
were exactly 2 months apart.
Oh,
So we literally went through this. Yes, Trisha, literally, like they FaceTime me as I'm peeing on the stick. Like, we need to know we're godmommies now. And I'm like, wait up.
that is hilarious. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. That is so beautiful though to have a group of friends to go through that journey with, especially when it involves having difficulties and things like that. Because like
Most
you said, a lot
definitely.
of times, especially for Black women,
Yep.
we don't
And
have a lot of
we're so hard on ourselves, and we don't really vocalize it. There's a sense of shame in it. And, you know, I'm always an open book, but I do realize that you know, I think that's part of my purpose. Like for me, sharing my experiences, or you know, lets others know that they aren't alone. So, you know, I had a talk with God. I'm like, listen, I need to stop being people's guinea pig, though. I'm gonna need,
serious.
because I'm tired of, you know, going through things. But what I have learned is that we all go through it. I'm just more of a sharer, and I'm happy to do so. If it can help, if my stories and my struggles can help others, then I'm all with it. I guess that's why I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's so amazing.
Thank
Well,
you.
like I said earlier, you are so beautiful.
Oh,
And
thank you.
so with being so vibrant and talented, and young, what are some struggles or some challenges you would say that you probably had to overcome opposed to like being a male in that same
Oh,
industry?
um, that's a good one. What I as far as struggles all around it, and as being a female in the music industry, is that, as you know, this is a male dominated industry, and that
Mm,
means that for some reason in the PR world, it's kind of more women. But even then, when there is a man in the room, he's the one that's more respected off the bat. And we have to, you know, it was saying even before with, like, you know, the celebrity publicist thing, it's a fine line. I'm judged the minute, you know, if I'm doing a PR for a concert, I'm judged the minute I walk in the door. If I'm
mm,
not dressed, if I'm not dressed sexy enough, if I'm dressed too sexy, there's levels. Like, you know,
yeah,
there's certain way a woman dressed what that determines the type of respect she's going to get when she walks in the room.
yeah,
And then, or is it too much attention? Do people think, you know, if I'm too dressed, oh, they misinterpret me for, oh, is she a groupie? No,
yeah.
I'm kind of the one in charge here. You know what I mean? So, or I've literally watched at another concert, a venue manager legit asked my assistant next to me, like, questions than when I'm talking to him directly, as no, I'm the one in charge here. But because my assistant was a man, he'll definitely ask him the same questions, and I'm like, hello, I'm the boss here. But so yeah, it's one of these things where we have to fight for everything that we get twice as hard, because there will always be this assumption of we're less than for whatever reason.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I definitely feel that. And two, I mean, because, and I appreciate you for being so honest and being so real about that
That's the only way I
experience.
know how to be. Like, that's the only way I know. Like, there's those are just the PG stories that I'm gonna say on IG Live. Like, there's been definitely struggles where you have to think about, well, or guess, is this person really wanting to give me a chance at something, or are they just trying to sleep with me?
Right.
Or it's one of these things. Or and then there's a way to even play that game, like, you know what I mean? You have to be very careful. You have to demand your respect, and know that, okay, even that comes with limitations. You demanding your respect, but are you now the bitch that nobody wants to
Right.
work with? You know what I'm saying? So I think, you one thing I can say is that once you do find your voice, stick with it. Always stand your ground.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I'm definitely taking that. I appreciate all these gems that you are dropping right
Oh,
now.
thank you.
This is so much inspiration. So are you ever surprised at how successful you've become?
Um, hmm. Yes and no. I always knew I was gonna do something. But to say, I'm surprised, kind of no. But I guess it helps to know that I kind of did it by myself. And I don't mean by myself as like I didn't have people or mentors helping me along the way. No, I will always say that. I will always say who gave me an opportunity, whether it's, current clients that have, recommended me for other positions, or friends that have, we always say at Legion, most of our clients come by referral. So I
Mm.
will never say that my journey is self-inflicted, but what I can say is that I never had to depend on another logo, besides my own. Like, that is important to me. Like, yes, now we have major clients, and yes, now we stand by major logos, but at the end of the day, it's still ours. It's still like, no matter if a client fires us, or goes with someone else, or dies, we've definitely had that type of thing too. But there's
Wow.
still tomorrow in our company, and
Yeah.
that is what I'm proud of. At the end of the day, we've watched people leave major companies, and then they get a full awareness of why people were respecting them. It's not because of who they were, it was because of the logo that they were repping. So for us, I'm always going to rep my logo first, harder than anyone else's. No offense to my clients, but I'm going to wear your flag too. But guess what? At the end of the day, no one can take mine away from me.
Yes. Yes. I feel that. Absolutely. That's beautiful. So, girl, you are just amazing. Okay.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So I want to kind of talk about like youth right now because, I've
Mm-hmm.
noticed in recent years there's been like a big dwindle in motivation and passion and things like that, kind of due to like the overnight successes that they see on social media and things like that. So I know that with a career like yours, it takes time. And so for youth who kind of want to pursue, I would say like a career similar to yours, what advice would you be able to offer them in terms of being diligent about their passion?
I think that there's levels to understanding. I always say that I feel J. Cole on that middle child syndrome, right? Because that's where I feel that I am. I don't look at myself like an OG, but I'm definitely not a newbie to this, right? So I'm kind of in the middle, just like he is. But I realize because of that, it allows me to see and understand both sides. I think that even coming up, a lot of the OGs in the game didn't really understand our work ethic or mythology, like, because they just did things so differently. They didn't have the technology that we did. Everything is a fight, literally. Like, I remember being at Def Jam, literally telling people, yo, we don't need to spend $1 million in budget to mail CDs out. We can email MP3s now. Like, that was literally a conversation compared to, the kids probably don't even use email, right? So like, so they're
Yeah.
looking at all of us crazy. So what I'm saying is, I understand that more easily, that technology will forever change us. Every 4 years, the music industry changes, and we have to adapt. There were times where the blogs were the gatekeepers. Now it's now it's the DSPs, and we have to adjust with all of that. So I think once you come into this game and you realize, okay, one, that it's not going to be an overnight success, and if it does happen, then kudos to you, but that is not the average story. We all carve out our path if you want to be in this game, like, and be careful to not let success get to your head, because you have to realize, as quick as you got there, quicker you can fall too. So again, I want to say, not to check your egos, because people get that misconstrued sometimes. It's not about checking your ego. It's more so knowing the difference between your ego and self-love and self-awareness, right? Because you should have pride in your work. You should love yourself, and don't let anyone tell you any different. But the difference becomes when you think that you're better than others. That's where you have to draw the line, right? So I take that with my personal life as well as my career. Like, I will always treat everyone the same. I always tell people, Diddy was somebody's intern. Be careful. My coach in high school, he told us, be careful of the toes you step on today, as they might be connected to the ass you may have to kiss tomorrow. And that's my way of life. Like, I will never shit on somebody because they're currently an intern, or that, I've never heard of the Purposely Awakened, right? I'm sitting here talking to you, and I've never met you before, but that's, especially if you want to be a publicist, I need to know everybody.
Yeah.
So I'm going to treat you the same, just as if you was my boy B Dot or Elliot Wilson. Like, I'm still going to show up because you asked me to.
Absolutely. That is awesome. And I think that's dope that, you can express that. Yeah, I feel that for sure, because a lot of people don't understand you have to serve first. You know what I'm saying? I think that people have the idea that you can start in the middle, or no, you got to work your
No,
way.
you have to crawl before you walk. And I think that people think, especially, there was a period of time, not just because I had just become a mom, but I had stopped doing internship programs for a long time. When we first started out, we would have anywhere from 10 to 12 interns at a semester. And then I stopped because the energy that I was getting, I think, was just so, like, demanding. And I think, like, where is this coming from? Just put me in a bad mood. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna have to pause this for a while. And I can't lie, the new generation that has come up recently and expressing wanting to intern, they kind of get it. They're back to the essence of realizing that they need to learn. I think just that attitude shift is everything. Just knowing that you don't know it all, and you need some sort of, like, again, some sort of mentor, and just being open to that conversation will help your journey so much.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that advice. And I just kind of wanted to finish off by asking, during this time, we're experiencing a lot of civil unrest in the Black community, with everything that's going on. So what are some words of wisdom that you can offer?
I think there's twofold. One, be conscious of your surroundings always. Know that right now that any little thing can set someone off. So be careful as outside is opening. Well, now it's looking like it's about to close again. But for those of you, or those of us who are venturing outside again, or even protesting, be aware of your surroundings, extra cautious, and be careful of your words. Even the things that we are encouraged to chant or things that we are encouraged to write, remember your own voice first.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to get too spiritual up here or start preaching, but be conscious of the words that you are saying out of your own mouth, regardless if you're being encouraged to chant them. Mm-hmm. They mean something. So just, again, be more conscious of your surroundings and be careful.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thank you. I appreciate you for allowing us to do this interview with you. It was so enlightening, and I appreciate all of the amazing advice that you gave, and everybody in the comments loved it. I can tell.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you again for having me. Thanks for thinking of me. Like, again, I'm always humbled when someone asks me to do these things. I'm like, really? Me? Why you didn't want to talk to me?
Yeah, you have so much knowledge. You have so much knowledge, and I really do appreciate it. I think that, when we're young, a lot of times, I don't know, like you said, we can kind of question like, all right, what, me? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But it's like, just listening to you talk, you have so much to offer, so many wise words that we can use, even people that's, older than you. So I really do appreciate that.
And I tell people all the time, I do write back. I ain't that light skinned. I write you back in the DM. So hit me. It might not be right away. Let's give you that. Because, somebody was yelling at me this morning for having over 300 unread texts.
Oh, my goodness.
But I will get back to you eventually. So it's not intentional, but please, if you do have more questions or you want me to talk to something. What's up, Mike? I see you. I think I saw Carl from Billboard in here too. Mike is one of the DJs over at Hot 97. Shout out to Mike. Yeah, so hit me on my DM. I do respond eventually. Send me an email, whatever.
Yes. Well, y'all heard Miss Chanel. So thank you so much to our viewers. For more depth on wellness and Black excellence and wealth building, please go join our link and go to our Purposely Awakened Lounge. Again, thank you so much. And
thanks for having me.
I hope that you have a beautiful day. Thank you so much.
All right. Enjoy.
You too. Bye-bye.